Good evening, boys and girls. This evening is our reading night, and at our reading night, we are reading Pete the Cat and the Bedtime Blues by Kimberly and James Steen. And I wanted to read it for all of you who maybe didn't get to go to reading night. So, Pete the Cat and the Bedtime Blues. Check this out. I love this picture. Look at all his different pajamas. Cracks me up. Also reminds me a little of my boys when they were little and all their fun pajamas. Okay. Pete and the gang had such a great day. They'd been at the beach, surf and sun and tons of fun. Wow, they're good. That is one thing I've not tried is surfing. I don't think I'd do very well. But when the sun went down, they didn't want the fun to end. Pete had an idea. Hey, how about a sleepover? More time for tons of fun. Groovy. Pete's place. Let's go. Ooh, and they even have a little motorcycle. Check that out. The party was far out, but they knew they couldn't stay up all night. The gang decided it was time to say good night. On went the pajamas and out went the light. Good night, Gus. Good night, alligator. Good night, Toad. Good night, Pete. Pete was just about to catch some Z's when clap, clap, clap. Who did that? Asked Pete. It was me, said Grumpy Toad. I don't want to go to bed. I want to clap instead. Pete covered his head. This cool cat needs to go to bed. Good night, Gus. Good night, alligator. Good night, Toad. Good night, Pete. Time to sleep. Pete tried again to catch some Z's when rat-a-tat-tat. Who did that? Pete asked. It was me, said Gus the platypus. I don't want to go to bed. I want to jam instead. Pete covered his head. This cool cat needs to go to bed. Time to sleep. See the little birdie? I just noticed this with the story. He even has a sleeping bag. Good night, Gus. Good night, alligator. Good night, Toad. Good night, Pete. Pete closed his eyes to catch some Z's when he heard, uh-oh, what's it going to be this time? Munch, munch, munch. Pete had a hunch. It was alligator. He was always up for eating. What could Pete do? All the clapping, rat-a-tat-tatting, and munching was giving him the bedtime blues. Pete had a groovy idea. Ooh, I wonder what Pete's gonna do. He got out his favorite bedtime story and started to read, first to himself and then to the gang. It says Pete the Cat and 10 Little Monsters. By the way, I looked it up online. I don't see a Pete the Cat and the 10 Little Monsters. We may have to write Kimberly and Dean and say they have to make that story. There is a story, 10 Little Monsters, but not by Pete. Interesting. Pete noticed when it was finally quiet. No more clapping, no more rat-a-tat-tatting, and no more munching. Did it work? They had all settled down. No one made a sound. Pete yawned and turned off the light. Good night, sleep tight, time to catch some Z's. Tomorrow was another day for surfing, sun, and tons of fun. Oh, they're all dreaming about tomorrow. And that's it. End of our story. So, I hope you liked it. Fun story for our reading night. And I don't know about you, I do enjoy reading before I go to bed. What a surprise, right? I know. But I don't always get to. I try to because it helps me go to sleep. So, that's it for tonight. So, good night, sleep tight, and dream about fun things for tomorrow. Bye now.